Pascal. You are now rocking with that dude Pascal. Pascal. You are now rocking with that dude Pascal. Hi, cause St. Louis is ready. Forget about it, goodbye. Hold on, we just saying hi. Five somebody, rise up. Weekdays, catch us live. Somebody, let's go.
Good morning. Good afternoon and good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Pascal Show. Hope you guys are all doing well out there. Hope this show finds you in great spirits. It's hump day, y'all. It is hump day. Good morning.
It's just another meaning.
Good afternoon and good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Pascal Show. Hope you guys are all doing well out there. Hope this show finds you in great spirits.
Right? Getting over
hump
the
day,
hump.
y'all.
So that we're getting closer to the weekend.
Good morning.
Some people might take that and just flip it or something like that.
Good
But
afternoon
anyway,
and good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Pascal Show.
hopefully you guys are all doing well out there. We have some things we got to talk about. We got some updates. We got some things that I have not talked about. I have not covered this case in a couple of days, in a little while now. And there has been a lot of things that have been percolating as of late, revolving around this particular case. So I wanted to bring those things up to you guys that I have not talked about. I have not covered this case in a couple of days. Sorry about that, guys. I fixed the echo. Echo's fixed. Thank you so much. All right. Sorry about that, guys. Sorry. But we fixed it. Just so you guys know. All right. So anyway, guys, there's been some new updates. Some things that have been going on. JP, John Paul Miller, has been speaking out recently, which I found to be very, very interesting. So I wanted to share those things with you because he has some things to say which doesn't make any sense to me because of things that have been said in the past. You get my drift? So you'll get my drift here in just a little bit. So do me a favor, before we get into everything, do me a favor, hit that like button down below. Please and thank you. Hit that like button down below. If you're watching on Facebook, please be sure to hit that reaction button, all right? Or if you're watching on any of these other platforms, please be sure to do that. And if you are watching on those other platforms as well, consider hitting that join button or that follow button over there, becoming a part of the family over on those platforms, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, X/Twitter, any of those places. Please, by all means, go over there, show some love if you can. That'll be greatly, greatly appreciated. And of course, if you're watching on YouTube, crush that subscribe button down below on my YouTube channel. Of course, if you want to support the channel, become a member. Help a brother out who's just telling these stories almost every single day. Okay? So please, consider becoming a member of the family. Also, you can join my Patreon if you want to support it any further. Patreon.com/The Pascal Show. It's in the ticker down below going that way as we speak. So go show some love. That'd be greatly appreciated. Okay? All right, guys. We got to get into this. We got some things we got to talk about. Now, obviously, we have been covering this case of Mica Miller for a minute now. It has been a long time. We have been discussing and conversating about Mica Miller's case for a good minute now. A lot of things seem a bit odd. The way how she lost her life is odd. The family, her side of the family, is asking multiple questions. Just like I just said about Diamond Clark, Dr. Diamond Clark, the family is demanding answers, just like Diamond Clark's family. They're demanding answers about what happened in the last moments of Mica Miller's life. Now, there's been a lot of rumors and stuff like that that have been flying out the gate. There's been a lot of speculation and stuff like that. We are going to look at those things as well because I'm kind of curious as to if any of that is real or not. So we will be talking about some rumor stuff, or not rumor, but speculation on certain things revolving around the pawn shop. And of course, those are like the last few moments we see her alive. There's some things that have been brought up on TikToks and whatnot. People are coming out with all kinds of crazy theories. And of course, we're going to look at those and maybe, hopefully, we can confirm or debunk those things live on the show today. We're going to try. Okay. Like I said, we may not get anything, but nonetheless, there are some things that people are asking about, especially when it comes to her last few moments on this planet. All right. But still, JP
is out here. Real talk. JP out here. And he wants to talk, which is very interesting. Okay. Which is very interesting in my personal opinion. All right. There has been a lot of interviews or not a lot of videos, okay, that have been reposted by this TikTok creator by the name of True Crime Re. There are some videos that he has been putting out that has been, I guess they've been reposting them onto their TikTok. And I find them to be a bit odd. They're weird. And I'm wondering why. I got a lot of questions. As you know, I got a lot of questions. Shoot, I should have a t-shirt that says, I got a lot of questions. Literally. Because something about this is not mathing for me. No disrespect, no dig at JP, but I'm wondering what is his angle here? Hopping on the social media and saying the certain things that he has been saying on his social media on these platforms seems a bit weird. Seems a bit weird. But like I said, we're here to talk about these things, look at these videos, because there's only been about 3 of them so far. And like I said, I've been keeping close watch on this whole thing, this whole case, and how things have been unraveling. You know, he was on Justin on TikTok's show, on his live for the first time ever. He goes out there and he says a bunch of stuff, answering people's questions, talking about his tattoos and whatnot. And then he says, hey, you know, I want justice for Micah too. Well, that doesn't really make a whole lot of sense now, does it? Because last I recalled, he was in front of his congregation in the pulpit telling them that this was a self-inflicted act, that she did this to herself. But then now he's on his platforms saying different. And I keep saying, sup with that. Why is that actually happening? Why is he saying these things now? I even said it before. We rewatched a little bit of a good portion, I think it was the whole thing of Justin on TikTok's impromptu interview with JP. And even then, when he said, yeah, I want justice for her too, I said, wait a second, that don't make no sense. You said in a video that launched 1,000 speculations and inquisitive eyes in your direction, you said Mica Miller did the unthinkable to herself. You know, we got to use these code words. Because she didn't get her lithium, because she didn't get her medication, so on and so forth, right? But now you're going out here and you're saying something different. What's up with that, y'all? To me, that don't make no sense. I'm going to show you exactly what I mean. Because again, the math, as we like to say, ain't mathin'. So there's a 3-part series here. I want to share with you the first one. We're going to look at this. We're going to react, of course, to it as well. Let me just get it queued up really quick. And again, it just doesn't make any sense at all. This just does not make any sense at all. Like I said, here it is. We're going to take a look at this really quick, do a little reaction to it. We're going to go piece by piece, okay? Clip by clip, or, you know, part 1, part 2, and part 3. We're going to take a look. But this is some interesting stuff that he says right out the gate. So let's listen to his first initial video.
Greetings, everybody. I am here to let you know that my silence is nothing more than wisdom and self-control so that we can win the war that is up ahead. And I am looking forward to presenting over 350 pieces of proof on what Micah thinks about her family and what Micah thinks about her lawyer and the things her lawyer's saying and the things that her family's saying, and Charlotte and all these other people that are saying things. People forget that Micah corresponded with me more than anybody else on planet Earth. And I know her heart, And I have her text messages, and we're going to disprove all the lies that are out there. And there's so many lies. It seems like everybody thinks the world is flat. And you ask them why, and they say, well, it says on the news the world's flat. Or, Robbie Stinky Harvey said that it's flat. Or JLR Never Investigates says that it's flat. But when I get to court, I'm going to show you that the world is round. And you're going to be shocked at some of the things that you see that Micah says. And we're going to find out actually who is responsible for my wife's death. And Micah will have justice when it's all said and done, and I'm going to make sure of it. So thank you so much. I look forward to seeing you soon. God bless.
Okay, let me roll that back again, because we need to see that for ourselves one more again. And of course, I'm going to break this down, okay? Because again, he literally says he's got 300 and what? Pieces of evidence? 350, over 350 pieces of evidence. Then on top of it, he says, oh yeah, you don't even know what Micah was saying about her family. Even the lawyer that's representing Micah's family right now. So is she speaking from the grave to him right now? Now, there is a possibility that this lawyer that they obtained has represented them in the past on other things, or she could be the family lawyer. But at the same time, you're really going to say, oh, I got all this footage, I got all this information, 350 pieces of evidence showing you that without a shadow of a doubt, Micah couldn't stand her daddy because of that one time when they went fishing and he said something that upset her. So you're saying you got information about her being in a family. There's always interfamilial drama that happens in families. It just is what it is. Families be familying. You know what I'm saying? So if you have 350 pieces of evidence, it doesn't even matter. Oh, she was talking ish on Sierra. She was talking ish on Anna. Like, who cares? Does that have anything to do with the case that keeps brimming with more proof and more evidence against you? That's the question I have. And of course, he had to dig at some YouTube creators as well, in there as well, right? Because obviously he's watching those videos and he's clearly upset about those things. I get it. I wouldn't want to be in his shoes at all. That's terrible, But at the same time, what are these 350 pieces of evidence that you have that's going to show without a shadow of a doubt your innocence? Let's talk about your innocence, not, oh, she had things to say. She wanted to throw shade. She threw so much shade on her family. Ooh, so? There's always interfamilial drama that happens in families. Some people get along and then they don't get along, and then they reconcile, and then they move on, and then they bump heads again later on in life. It is what it is. That's life. That's family. Family over everything, right? Vin Diesel. So why sit here and go, oh, because they are coming at you? You're going, oh, well, now I got stuff to go in on you guys to show how terrible of a family you guys are. Do you realize that there's two different possibilities? Well, there's three. One, let's just start with the first one. It may have really been her talking trash on her family, saying a whole bunch of ish to her family. Okay, about her family, I'm sorry. Saying a whole bunch of ish about her family. That could really be her, frustrated, saying, I wish my dad, or I wish my sisters, or I wish that blah, blah, blah. Makes total sense. It's called life. People will, especially if you're with your spouse is supposed to be your best friend. At least that's what they say, right? So I expect for her to be confiding in him during that time before she woke up and said, I need to get the hell out of this marriage. There's that. Two, AI. All of it is AI. He said, I'm about to show you guys 350 pieces of show it now. Remember, Justin on TikTok, he had an interview with them, impromptu interview. He even said, yeah, I know you guys have a lot of questions and I want to answer those things, but I need to have all the evidence in front of me so I can show y'all. I need that stuff first. Okay, show the stuff. Show me the Carfax. Where the Carfax? Just do it. Oh, you have a question about this? Hold on. Proof. Done. But he says, I got 350 pieces of evidence that I'm about to show y'all. Times are wasted. TikTok, bro. Tick, mother loving talk. So go. Show it to us. Or are you busy manufacturing and fabricating these 350 pieces of evidence? I'm just telling you, the more time he wastes, the more time he lets it go, the more speculation starts to seep into the evidence that he starts to put out. And 3, this could very well be her stuff, but this is all through manipulation. Her being manipulated under his influence to the point where, like, she's like, I know, you're right. I don't need my family. My family's not important. You're important. That kind of stuff. We've been hearing those voicemails. Okay, we've heard those things before. So, like I said, 350 pieces of evidence, bruh, you should have been showing that. You might be a little late now because now everybody's going to be like, let me see. Man, this is all AI. Now AI is in everybody's heads. Remember, the 911 call that she made, that devastating 911 call, people are still, understandably, people are still speculating that being AI. Fine. Totally fine. Okay? To each their own with their theories. Okay? But at the same time, though, you think that the same group of people are going to believe any pieces of evidence that you put out here whenever you do show it? You think that they're going to believe that as being authentic? I'm just asking questions. But let me play a little bit more of this, or repeat this again, because like I said, he's going to sit here and say, oh, I got all this evidence. You give it time, people are going to sit there and go, all of these text messages are fabricated. They're AI, right?
Greetings, everybody. I am here to let you know that my silence is nothing more than wisdom and self-control so that we can win the war that is up ahead. And I am looking forward to presenting over 350 pieces of proof on what Micah thinks about her family and what Micah thinks about her lawyer and the things her lawyer's saying and the things that her family's saying and Charlotte and all these other people that are saying things. People forget that Micah corresponded with me more than anybody else on planet Earth.
Duh. Of course she went and she talked to you more than anyone else on planet Earth. She was your wife. Hello? Come on, guys. Like, wake up. Okay, let me just say this. If you have a spouse and your spouse isn't confiding in you on like 100% of the things that are going on, then they're not your spouse. You might want to reconsider your relationship and how it's constructed, because that doesn't make any sense. Your spouse should be your best friend. It should be. They should be, right? Not property now. Not property. But your best friend. They may own your heart, thump, thump, right? They may be an owner of your heart, but they don't own you. They're supposed to be your best friend, your confidant, your cheerleader, okay? I'm just saying. You need those things in your life. So, of course, she's going to confide in her husband because she's married to the damn man. And she believes that this man, through manipulation. She believes that this man will listen to her. This is her best friend. I should be able to confide in him and tell him everything that's going on. Right? So of course she's going to sit there and vent. Of course she's going to vent and let her feelings out, unhinged, without judgment. Because you have your partner there that's willing to listen to you, should listen to you in an unjudgmental sphere, right? In an unjudgmental space. But now he's going to be using all that stuff that she's confided in him with, let's just say allegedly, and he's going to sit there and try to smear the Francis family because they're out here side-eyeing the F out of him because of how Micah lost her life. Like I said, I don't know if this is the best. If I knew him, if he was a friend and all that stuff, I'd be like, I don't know if that's the best idea, bruh. That is not the best idea. I get that you're angry. I get that you're frustrated. I get that you feel like there's a smear campaign against you and everyone's looking at you funny and odd and weird and everyone's side-eyeing you. I'm sure there's less patrons, less people going to and worship in your church now. I'm sure you're dealing with a lot of issues right now, but at the same doggone time, this does not help your cause. It doesn't. And as soon as you put out the 350 pieces of evidence, people are going to look at that and say it's fake. You're fighting uphill. And I don't think that's going to work for you in the long run.
And I know her heart, and I have her text messages, and we're going to disprove all the lies that are out there. And there's so many lies, it seems like everybody thinks the world is flat. And you ask them why, and they say, well, it says on the news the world's flat.
I'm going to skip through this crap, but again.
So thank you so much. That Micah says, and we're going to find out that the world is round, and you're going to be shocked at some of the things that you see that Micah says. And we're going to find out actually who is responsible for my wife's death, and Micah will have justice.
Okay. I'm sorry, but I have to use this already. Mother Lover just said she will get justice. The what? I'm going to roll that back one more time. Because we've already heard this before. In the previous interview that he had. The impromptu interview that we've already talked about. Ad nauseum. But we've already talked about that. He even said then, she will get justice. Okay.
Round, and you're going to be shocked at some of the things that you see that Micah says. And we're going to find out actually who is responsible for my wife's death. And
we're going to find out who is responsible for my wife's demise. Of course, I got to use these code words. And
Micah will have justice.
And Micah will have justice. Okay. 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 You see what I'm saying, though? Do you hear what I'm saying? Son of a gun. Because I'm just a mother lover and I have to. I just got to. I have to. You know what I mean? Do I have to? Yes, hell yeah, I have to. Okay? Because I just have to.
Their phone rings. But the way they do it 300 years now, they just do this. Their phone rings and they just put up to their ear. For the next, little bit, 'cause I don't want to, and don't talk about the. We're not going to do an altar call today. Instead, I'm going to have you stand up and I'm going to make an announcement. And after the announcement, I'm going to ask that you leave church quietly and don't talk about the announcement here in the building, please, if you can. So y'all can stand to your feet. Before I make the announcement, I also want to say that my request to you is that you will continue to come to church and serve and give for the next little bit. 'Cause I don't want to have. I'm taking a little bit of a break, and I don't want to have to worry about the church. My break may be a few days, a few weeks. I don't know. I got a call late last night. My wife has passed away, and it was self-induced, and it was up in North Carolina, and we're gonna have self-induced, and my wife has passed away. And yeah, and it was self-induced. I called late last night. My wife has passed away. And yeah, and it was self-induced. I don't know. I got a call late last night. My wife has passed away. And yeah, and it was self-induced, and it was up in North Carolina. And we're gonna have a funeral for her next Sunday here.
You know the rest. Okay. Remember, he says self-induced. That's what he just said. He said that weeks ago. Okay? But now he's sitting here saying, not only just on Justin on TikTok's interview, but he also says on another TikTok by himself that we will find out who's the one who did this to Micah, and we will get justice for Micah. What the hell does he mean by any of that ish? Hold on, I'm going to play that part one more again for y'all.
Court, I'm going to show you that the world is round, and you're going to be shocked at some of the things that you see that Micah says. And we're going to find out actually who is responsible for my wife's death, and Micah will have justice.
I'm sorry, I got to keep playing that over and over again because his math ain't mathing now.
Death, and Micah will have justice. And we're going to find out actually who is responsible for my wife's death, and Micah will have justice. Actually who is responsible for my wife's death, and we're going to find out actually who is responsible for my wife's death, and Micah will have justice.
Okay. We will find out who is the person responsible for Micah's demise, and we will have justice for Micah. You heard his sermon. Now, I'm going to play, the other side of the fence, a little bit, okay? It is understandable that information can change as time goes on. Instantly, when he hears about his wife's passing, he hears, allegedly, let's just say that, because I know a lot of y'all think otherwise, but he hears, let's just say, he finds out about her passing, he finds out it was self-induced. Let's just say that. He goes, he has the conversation with his congregation, tells them all that stuff. I need y'all to stand up, clean up on aisle 7, Go, God, bye-bye, right? Self-induced, didn't get her lithium, so on and so forth. She had mental health issues, as y'all know. But please keep coming back. Give me monies. Keep praying with me. So he goes. He lives his life, deals with this. People are all asking questions. Okay, there is a good possibility that maybe through hearing people's information and all that, maybe the police came back or somebody came back to him and said, well, there's a good possibility that something happened to her. And he goes, oh, maybe something did happen to her. Then I want to be on the side of trying to get justice for her and find out who actually is the person that did the unaliving to Micah, if that's the case. That's it's a very, very strong, this is a Hail Mary kind of throw of a theory. But information does change, can change over time, right? You listen to the news 3 weeks ago on a case, and then present day, you hear something completely brand new pertaining to the information that you heard 3 weeks ago. You see what I'm saying? So that information is old news, and it's not evergreen. So because cases such like this one or any of these other cases that we cover, they're constantly evolving. They're constantly changing. The steam engine just keeps blazing down the track, right? With new information, new eyewitnesses, new theories, new speculation, so on and so forth. So that is possible. We have to put that on the table there. It is possible. I don't feel it personally. It feels like a little bit of him trying to sway, trying to get on the good side of the general consensus out here, the court of public opinion, these
opinion screets that are going on right now with everybody with their own theories, speculating, conspirizing, and whatnot. At least that's the vibe I get when it comes to this. We got more. Okay. But I feel like I was like, oh, bruh, come on, mang. But at the same time, he's deciding to go down this route. And if that's what he wants to go down, then I guess so be it. He's going to go down that route. We got part 2, though. So let's take a look at part 2. Let's take a look.
Hey everybody, tonight's video is going to be a little bit more lighthearted than normal. The goal is to debunk a different lie every night. And
Okay, you're going to try to debunk a lie every night.
the Francis family has given me a lot to work with, so it's going to take a while.
Wow. Okay.
But don't believe anything that I say just because I say it. That's as foolish as you believing what they say just because they say it. You need to look for proof and truth. And so tonight we're going to deal with something that Michael Francis said. Micah, my wife, had 7 days. I think her mom's married 7 times. Michael Francis is the biological father. And he said the other day on some show, something to the effect of Micah's, one of her tattoos, my name that's my signature that is tattooed on her body. He inferred that meant that I owned her and that I was controlling and manipulative, and I made her get that tattoo so I could brand her and stamp her and say that she belongs to me. And that's not really how it worked. The first time she got my signature tattooed on her, it was when we were dating. And I was actually in New York on a vacation, and she sent me a picture of what she had done, and I was surprised. A few weeks later, we broke up, and she covered it up with a lotus flower. And then we got married, and then a few years later, she got my signature tattooed on the other side of her body. But I don't think that it means that I was controlling and manipulative. I don't think it means that I owned her. I don't think it was a brand or anything I forced her to do. It was completely her idea. And I don't know why Michael would think that. But if you do think that's what it means, if somebody has, someone else's name, their signature even tattooed on their body, if you think it means that person owns them and, that they are over them and they're controlling, then what would you say, Michael, about this? And whose idea do you think that was?
Okay. So there's something interesting about this. Okay. Because you can look at the tattoo story in so many different ways. To me, okay. I'm trying to be as respectful as I can, but I'm going to keep it a buck. I'm going to keep it 100. Okay, I'm going to keep it a whole bag with y'all. This is low-hanging fruit, bruh. I'm sorry. You're going to talk about a tattoo. You're going to go live or do a TikTok debunking the lies, and you decide to go straight after a tattoo. Let's be real. I know plenty of people that have tattooed their lover or their spouse or their partner's name on their body. Yes, it is a bit odd if you are, depending on the angle that you're looking at, right? Depending on the angle. Some people look at that as like, oh, that's endearing. I think that's I feel like it's a bad omen. I would never recommend to you, hey, tattoo your man or your woman's name on your body. I think it's a bad omen. That's just me. I instantly think that's bad luck to me. Okay. But I don't have tattoos. Okay. So that's that part. But I can see how people do that to show, hey, I really love this person. This is my forever person, so on and so forth. Right? Hey, to each their own. But this is low-hanging fruit, homie. Sure, you got her name tattooed on your body. Congratulations. Yay, Hercules. Good job on you. But this is low-hanging fruit. I don't care about the tattoo story.
That's not the stuff I give a damn about. What about the S workers? What about the applying her with party favors against her will and blowing dudes' backs out right in front of her? That kind of stuff. Why aren't you attacking and addressing those things? I'm sorry. Low-hanging fruit that I don't give a damn about. Do you? Oh, she had a tattoo with his name on it. Then she covered it up when they broke up. And then when they got back together, she got another tattoo of my signature on her body. Who gives a damn? Low-hanging fruit. This ain't even an underhand serve. Okay? This is a T-ball. You just put the ball. Boop. You're like, look, see, I got the tattoo too. See? I'm sorry. It don't work for me, guys. I'm sorry. With all due respect, I don't mean to go in so hard, but I have to. I'm sorry. It doesn't work for me. Really. I'm going to go on every single day, every night or every day, and I'm going to debunk these lies. This is something that did not need to be debunked. Sure, Michael Francis feels like those tattoos were almost like she was getting branded. Like she was owned, like she was property. Listen, you show that she is property in so many cases that these tattoos don't mean a damn. So like I said, you should be addressing all the big pieces, the big hits. No one cares about no damn tattoos. At least I don't. Unless you're like Krishan and you decide, Krishan Rock, you decide to put a whole tattoo of the person's face on your whole body. I'd be like, oh, baby, no, sit down. Take several seats. Don't do that. Bad choice. Okay? But I get it. You could look at that in so many different ways and say, hey, that's ownership. Sure. You can see that for sure. But like I said, does this information matter? You have an ex-wife. We're going to talk about the ex-wife too here. Oh boy, we got some things to talk about. Get comfortable, babies. We got things to conversate about, okay? But you also have an ex-wife saying the same things, that she endured the same ish that Micah went through. If those are lies, why aren't you talking about those? You decide to talk about a damn tattoo that no one gives a damn about. No one's seen her body except her daddy. Who gives a damn? All right, moving on to the next one. Like I said, this is not, it's T-ball. It's not even a softball, okay? T-ball. Shoot, it's not even T-ball. All right? But he's still sitting here going, okay, I'm going to try to debunk everything that they say. All right, then. So you have 350. So wait, I'm sorry. So the 350 pieces of evidence are part of one of them's on your body. So that's the bet. I'm sorry. This is nothing. It's a nothing burger in my personal opinion. Yes, I understand about that being a possibility of showing some sort of ownership for show. No complaints there at all. I'm not trying to say, oh, there's no way that that she that there was some proof of ownership. I'm not pushing anything back towards Michael Francis at all. If that's what the family believes, that's what the family believes. But like I said, he should be answering the questions about where was he on that day? Was he really at a sporting event? Who was he with? Was he really with one of his kids? Was he with a new lover? Was he with somebody? So they said paramour. You know what I mean? Was he with somebody? What really happened here, man? Tell us the timeline. Those are the things that should matter. Not this other BS. I don't have time for no tattoo-ish. So part 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 350 Should be very interesting to see. Because if it's all like they talked about her hair being dyed blonde at one moment, and I said, I even said I was totally against her dyeing her hair blonde, but she decided to dye her hair blonde. I couldn't do nothing about it. If it's all gonna be some BS like that, man, quit while you're ahead. The other part I was thinking though too. Okay, I'm crazy. Okay, but just rock with me with this theory. Do you remember the Who the F Did I Marry series on TikTok? Come on. Hit the number 1 if you know exactly who I'm talking about. Risa Tisa. Who the F Did I Marry? Hit the number 1 if you know what I'm talking about here. Huge TikTok series. Okay? She made so much money off of that series. Millions and millions of views, right? She skyrocketed. Right? Okay, this is going to sound crazy. I'm crazy, okay? I'm crazy. What are the chances of him actually trying to do the same doggone thing? Hear me out. Hear me out. Not meaning like, hi, my name is Risa Tisa, and this is Who the F Did I Marry Part 72. But he is using a platform in which you can monetize to make money off of, and he's trying to debunk every single claim that's towards him. He said 350 pieces of evidence. That's 350, potentially 350 videos on his TikTok. Everyone starts flooding over there. He can start making the monies, and next thing you know, he's monetizing off of this situation. Think about it for a second, y'all. No. This is not giving him ideas. He's already doing this. You see what I'm saying? So what are the chances? I'm not sitting here saying that he knows anything about the Who the F Did I Marry, but that turned into a 70-something. It was a long series, y'all. Okay? It was like 9 hours long, 8-9 hours long. That's a lot of TikToks. All right? But imagine if he's trying to do some sort of thing like that. He's going onto a platform. Maybe the money that he's making, he's not making as much as he used to at church because people are not coming and worshiping. He has maybe less and less worshipers coming to church. So he's like, hey, let me utilize this platform. I see everybody making money off of my name. Why don't I make money off of my name too? And we're going to do a series. And everybody's going to watch it. Everyone's going to click on it, and I'm going to make money. I know. It is a little diabolical. It is some serious nasty work, but what are the chances? What are the chances? Just something to think about, guys. I know. I'm crazy. I know. But I'm just saying. It's a theory, and it would make sense if that's what he decided to do. Let's get on to the next piece. Part 3. Part 3. There's a part 3, guys. Oops. Part 3. Let's go. I'm just saying, he could make money off this ish, and he's probably doing that right now.
Hey everyone, tonight we will deal with the fact that I preached the day after my wife passed and the announcement that I made.
Finally something. Let's see what he says. Does it make sense or is it absolute?
Before that, I just want to talk about the tattoo from the other night. The tattoo that had her signature, it was gotten back in January with her. She wanted a very, very thick wedding band tattooed on her wedding finger, so that when she was working out or we were on vacation, when she didn't have a ring, she'd let everybody know she was still married. That is not something that someone who's being abused does, but she wanted that tattoo and she wanted me to get her signature, so I showed up and did it. The reason I preached the day after she passed, the night before that midnight, I had 5 people at my house telling me not to preach and I would be crazy for doing it. I didn't listen, and it's because at first I didn't believe it. I'd spent the past 3.5 months doing everything I could to keep her alive. My goal was every single day to find somebody, some way to get her medicine.
because I told them that she was going to commit suicide if she didn't get her lithium. And I went to her pastors, counselors, doctors, policemen, judges, friends, family, roommates, everybody you could possibly think of, and nobody believed me.
Okay. Interesting, right? I'm sorry. I want to roll that back a little bit because we need to. We're going through half and half here because there's a lot he says here. But let me skip ahead a little bit. But he says that, of course, he made the decision. He wanted to go and address the congregation. He wanted to do his own sermon. He wanted to do his thug thizzle. He says at least 5 other people were very much adamantly against him actually doing the sermon. He decided to do it anyway. Right? Okay. Now, here's what's interesting. That could possibly be the truth. But something ain't right here to me. Because why would you automatically go, yeah, I need to go and do a whole sermon? I need to go to work. Now, here's the thing. There are people that operate different. If you're anything like myself, I happen to be a workaholic. It is just what it is, okay? But if ever someone that I loved so deeply were to lose their life in some tragic, you're not seeing me working. I'm shutting everything off. I'm in an absolute emotional mess. You're not going to see me for a while. You're not going to see me in the pulpit preaching the word like nothing's happened. And then as soon as it's time to talk about the passing of my best friend, my spouse, my everything, that's when I start getting emotional. It just doesn't make any sense. He's cracking jokes. He's having a grand old time. He's doing what he usually does. He preaching like he usually preaches. Exactly, Karen. And that's the thing. Let me apply that to what's going on here. He should be broken. He should be broken in the situation, but he's not. Even when he's talking about this stuff right now, it's still distant, cold, callous. What's up with this? And damn right, his people in his congregation or the people that work with him, other preachers and whatnot, were probably like, are you insane? No. Take some time for yourself, baby. Take some time to breathe. But he decided anyway to go up there and talk. This is where he shot himself in the foot. That's what I honestly think. This is what started this all, right? But let's take a listen to what he says again.
To get her signature, so I showed up and did it. The reason I preached the day after she passed, the night before that midnight, I had 5 people at my house telling me not to preach, and I would be crazy for doing it.
I would agree. It's insane for you to do this. Okay? Insane.
Listen, and it's because at first I didn't believe it. I spent the past 3.5 months doing everything I could to keep her alive. My goal was every single day to find somebody, some way to get her medicine.
Is that true? What's interesting is that he's trying to say the reason why he was lurking, harassing, tormenting this woman, following her and having people follow her everywhere she was to save her. Why does that feel like a joke? Literally, why does that feel like a punchline? No, I did all those tracking devices, private investigators and people lurking in the background, flattening her tires and stuff so that she can get her lithium. Because she was moving too fast in that car, you feel me? So I had to slow her down so I could get her lithium. I needed to make sure she needed all of her stuff so I could give her lithium. And then when I tried to go up to her, she refused to take the lithium, so I decided to post a naked photo of her on Facebook. Does that make sense?
I snorted. But I'm just saying, make this make sense. Make this make sense. All right? Come on, man. Come on, man. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm doing all this because I was trying to get her list. I'm sorry. That is the most ridiculous. Do you know they were not together for a while? And it was hard for her to get her lithium. She had her own place. She had her own car. Okay? She a bad, you know the song. But yeah, she had her own place. She had her own car. Yes, it was her godmother's car. Yes, she was staying with another person as well, but she had a roommate. She had a place. So for her to get her lithium, how is it hard for her to get her lithium if she really needed it? Like I said, it's not like she was out in the boonies, out in the desert, just chilling, out in East Jesus Bumble F, Kentucky, chilling off the fat of the land. Like she's hanging out with Wilson, like she's in Tom Hanks' Castaway. So why is it so hard for her to get her lithium? And why is he so concerned about her getting her lithium? Like I said, the math ain't mathing for me, guys. Exactly, Reap. She could go to the doggone pharmacy her damn self. Yeah. Oh. Let's not forget the other part here, too. We need to talk about this, too. Remember, her friend went on to the Long Crime Show sidebar with Jesse Weber. And she even said in that interview that that Micah would go out of her way to go in front of her roommate or in front of anybody and go, hey guys, I'm taking my meds. Letting you guys know I'm taking my meds. And she would take her meds in front of everybody to make sure that everybody knew that she was taking her meds so that people didn't think she was going off her rocker. Come on, y'all. Okay. All right. Let me roll that back a little bit.
3.5 months, doing everything I could to keep her alive. My goal was every single day to find somebody, some way to get her medicine, because I told them that she was going to commit suicide if she didn't get her lithium.
And why would she have lithium? This is some powerful ish, y'all. But suddenly he's like, she needs her lithium. She needs her lithium. But even though she's taking everything else, she needs her lithium, though. Make that make sense, guys.
And I went to her pastors, counselors, doctors, policemen, judges, friends, family, roommates, everybody you could possibly think of, and nobody believed me. So to get that call that night that it happened, I'm sure you can imagine what a failure I felt like, as well as this just can't be true. It can't be my worst nightmare. There's no way. And so I think maybe the family was playing a trick on me or something. The other side of it was, I thought if it is true, I don't want to deal with it. I don't really do anything. I want to just keep living my life as if it never happened, because I was not ready to believe that it happened. So next day I preached like a fool. And then I made my announcement for everybody to be quiet and leave, because like a moment of silence, like you do, in respect.
He said, and if you guys have sound issues, you might want to reboot, because everybody else is hearing the sound. But he just said, hold on, that just threw me off. Hold on.
So I preached like a fool.
Like a fool.
Announcement for everybody to be quiet and leave, because like a moment of silence, like you do, in respect. I did it kind of like, I don't want anybody to be talking about, suicide or mental illness or asking me questions, or I just want them to leave and go talk to Jesus about it and then talk to me at some later date. I was not prepared to deal with any of it at all. And I'm sure you cannot imagine what it's like to be trying your best to keep somebody alive and then to find out they passed. And then how do you handle yourself in that next 24, 48 hours? I don't think there's a manual on that.
There isn't a manual. You're right. Okay. There isn't a manual. Everyone, let's be real, it's not a monolith, okay? We don't all react the same way when it comes to the person passing or a loved one passing. We all deal with things differently. Some of us do dive deeper into our work. Some of us, dive into the gym or drink or any of these other vices, right? I understand. I understand that not everybody's going to respond the exact same way. But something is odd about what you did. He even says, "Oh, I was hoping that it would just be a moment of silence for everybody," so on and so forth. But that's not exactly what you said. You said, "Don't say anything until you leave the building. There's no need to have a conversation about it. Don't talk about it until you leave the building. I got a quick announcement. I just got an announcement to make," so on and so forth. You didn't bother to even say, "Let's have a moment of silence for my wife." You didn't do that. You handed the mic over to your other pastor. He said some things and then let his people on their way. Didn't even do a moment of silence. Just said, "Hey, don't need for you guys to be talking about it here. Talk about it when you leave the building." That's literally what he said, verbatim. And now he's sitting here saying, "No, I wanted to, have, just pay her, pay respects and all that stuff." And I'm like, you didn't pay any respect. You just talked about why she was no longer here, talked about how she had mental health issues, talked about how she needed her medication and it didn't come to her quick enough. And now she's gone. Not once did you say anything about, let's do a prayer for her. Let's have a moment of silence. In fact, if you guys have any questions or if you want to talk to me, I'll be here after the service. Anything of that sort would have sufficed. But did you do that? No.
So if it offends anybody, I apologize, but I did the best I could with what I had. And God bless.
I did the best I could with what I had. I'm repeating this last part again for you guys because I know some of you guys were like, "I can't hear what you said."
I don't want to deal with
or
it.
he said.
I don't really do anything. I want to just keep living my life as if it never happened because I wasn't ready to believe that it happened. So next day I preached like a fool. And then I made my announcement for everybody to be quiet and leave because like a moment of silence like you do, in respect. I did it kind of like, I don't want anybody to be talking about, suicide or mental illness or asking me questions, or I just wanted them to leave and go talk to Jesus about it. And then
I understand that he's the one going through it, right? But he's like, he just wanted his congregation to go off and speak to God and talk about it to God and deal with it on their own. But aren't you their spiritual leader? And I know that's odd. It's an odd situation and an odd seat to stand in or to sit in, I'm sorry. But still, no matter what, you are their spiritual leader. Why couldn't they come to you and talk about this at all? Like I said, I understand. We all don't react to people's passings the same way. We don't all react to that in the same cookie cutter action, in the same cookie cutter way. But something just ain't right here. And he's sitting there going, "Oh, yeah, I went up there like a fool. I just didn't want to think about it. I just wanted to do what I needed to do. I didn't want to think about it. I just wanted to move on from it." You wanted to move on from it because probably this woman and you had a very volatile divorce going on. And the fact that she was gone, that relieved the pressure off of you. I hate to say it like that, but it's like, oh, thank God. She was about to unearth, allegedly, a gang load of stuff about you and the church. So it's like, oh, whew, that's a load off my back. It was more of a good riddance than an actual like, oh, you know what I'm saying? Let me play a little bit more, but yeah, he is mumbling quite a bit.
To meet some later date. He was not prepared to deal with any of it at all. I'm sure you cannot imagine what it's like to be trying your best to keep somebody alive and then to find out they passed. And then how do you handle yourself in that next 24, 48 hours? I don't think there's a manual on that. So if it offends anybody, I apologize, but I did the best I could with what I had.
I do feel like there's a lot of people out here that are very, I understand that there are people very callous out here. Some people, when it comes to people's passing, they don't even give a damn, right? They don't care. They just keep it moving. I get it. Those people I look at and go, why are you like this? You strange mother lover. You something wrong with you, right? Because there's got to be a moment. I mean, like when you're depending on the relationship prior to that person's passing. Because I've seen stories, I've seen reactions of friends that had absolutely monstrous parents, you know, like a monstrous parent of either side, mom or dad, right? And then they find out dad is gone. The person that brought that person on this planet is gone, and see their reaction. Say the father's a monster, right? A lot of times they're like, okay. They don't look at it and like, oh, and full on breakdown. Some do break down, but some don't. If you have somebody who's been volatile in your life, most of the time it's like, okay. And there's a lot of self-reflection, but there's still some sort of understanding or some sort of respect to the passing, if that makes any sense. It's not like this. Like I said, I understand everybody reacts a different way, but in this situation, aside from their sounds like very tumultuous relationship, their very toxic divorce that was going on, he did not act in a way of how he says out here. He's not reacting or talking in a way of, this is my wife. She was the love of my life. She was the best partner and the best mate a person could ever have had. He's not reacting like that. It's just, hey, she gone. Just letting you guys know. Don't let the door hit you on the way out. See you guys later. It's very odd. And that's not what you do for a spouse. Best friend. Mate. That's not. Regardless of how volatile or tough the divorce was getting, you still at one point looked at that person with love in your eyes. At one moment, that person gave you nothing but joy, filled your heart with nothing but joy and love. And when you have somebody who loses their life like this, shouldn't that be some of the moments that instantly flash through your brain? Instantly, you're going, wow, she loved me and I loved her. At a point, there was respect. At one point in our lives, there was respect and love between us. But you're just like, bye. Here's the information, just so you guys know. Here's the announcement. But please, guys, keep coming back. Keep giving me your money. Okay? But pray for me. Pray for my family. Pray for my kids. He's not sitting there saying, pray for Micah's family. He doesn't say any of those things. All the friends and all
all the people that were in there worshiping with him that used to worship with her too? Like, not even saying those that are affected, deeply affected by this news. Let's pray for them too. If you need some time to talk, our pastor will be here. Of course, I need some time to grieve. Something of that sort. He didn't do any of those things. A moment of silence for our first lady of the church. None of those things. That's crazy to me, guys. Okay? Poorly done, in my personal opinion. Poorly done. And it breaks my heart because, again, you have situations that we saw that happen, and it's coming back to bite him in the ass. But instead of him taking full accountability for it, he just says, well, that's just not how everybody reacts. We don't all do this, so on and so forth. It's sad, guys. One more time for the nosebleed seats.
But the way they do it 300 years now, they just do this. Their phone rings and they just put it on. Instead, I'm going to come after them. And so I love you, but I didn't heal you for your sake. I did it because I promise I made to them 300 years ago. That's what I want you to leave here with. Okay, that's it. Amen. We're not going to do an altar call today. Instead, I'm going to have you stand up and I'm going to make an announcement. And after the announcement, I'm going to ask that you leave church quietly and don't talk about the announcement here in the building, please, if you can. So y'all can stand to your feet. Before I make the announcement, I also want to say that my request to you is that you will continue to come to church and serve and give for the next little bit. 'Cause I don't want to have. I'm taking a little bit of a break, and I don't want to have to worry about the church. My break may be a few days, a few weeks. I don't know. I got a call late last night. My wife has passed away. And it was self-induced, and it was up in North Carolina. And we're gonna have a funeral for her next Sunday here at 3 p.m. And so it's all I can. Yeah, I'm just kind of going on adrenaline right now. So y'all pray for me and my kids and everybody. And she wasn't. Y'all knew that she wasn't well mentally, and that she needed her medicine that was hard to get to her. And so I'm sure there'll be more details to come. But just keep our family in your prayers. And I'm going to let Pastor Randall, my bishop, he can pray. I get a microphone to pray out.
Real quick, guys, and I'm going to pray you out, right? But notice this. Notice this. This is very interesting. Look at his hand. I know this is a little bit of a stretch, but my theory is that he has her pendant on him right here. Take a look. Take a look. He starts doing this, like he's massaging the pendant that's underneath his shirt right now. Take a look.
It was hard to get to her. And
watch his fingers.
I'm sure
watch his
more
thumb.
Details to come.
See that?
But, just keep our family in your prayers. And I'm going to let Pastor Randall.
Isn't that weird? Isn't that weird? Okay. All of this, obviously this whole thing is very, very weird. All of it is, okay? But he got that pendant, I think, even then. I'm sure he got it right when he saw the body the first time. Interesting, right? He's doing this. That pendant, because apparently she changed it into a lab diamond. And then he was like, well, let me turn this into a necklace. So you have that at least on you, right? So he took that from her and he's been wearing that, as we already know. And she just recently passed. And I'm going to be real. If somebody I loved, passed, I'd, of course, then they're my, a friend, family, best friend or my spouse or whatever. Yeah, I'd want to have something to hold on to, right? No doubt. No doubt. But it's just interesting. But still, no matter what, regardless of that, if you see this and you hear what he just said and the other video, oh, let's get justice for her. We're going to find out exactly who did this, so on and so forth. Really now? What actually happened here, Mike? What actually happened then? If you suddenly have changed your tone, if you've suddenly changed your tune into, oh no, we need justice for her,
then what do you know? See, that's the information that he should be putting out on videos. What do you know then? If you believe what everyone else is believing, that something happened here, that she does deserve justice, then tell us what you know, babe. Come on now, baby. Just say what you know. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. All right? Have mercy. But we got some more information I want to share with you guys too. Okay? Which is crazy. All right? But ex-wife of widowed pastor JP accuses him of having the sex with S-workers and littles. So the ex-wife of South Carolina pastor JP, whose second wife unalived herself after slapping him with divorce papers, has alleged he was inappropriate in the sexual kind of way. Okay? With underage, with littles, at his church, and was repeatedly unfaithful, newly filed documents show. The sordid allegations about the 44-year-old pastor's, his sexual life, okay, was laid bare in emergency court papers filed last week by his first wife, Allison Williams, as she seeks custody of the two teen children, okay? Of the couple's two teen children. The claims are the latest to engulf Miller after his second wife, Mica Miller, did the unthinkable in April, just weeks after she accused him of G'ing her as a teen and A-ing her throughout their marriage allegations he strenuously denies. In her custody fling, Williams alleges that Miller, a pastor at Solid Rock Church in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, has a history of being inappropriate in the sexual way with several littles, members of the church, littles that are members of the church, of his congregation, and regularly hired S-workers. She claimed the underage, the littles that he allegedly contacted had given her detailed accounts of his actions, but none have ever come forward publicly because they feared retaliation. I went to the police department for the purpose of making a report and requesting an investigation, Miller alleged in court papers. So again, this is Miller, okay? She claimed that the Miller contacted these littles, and that these littles gave her detailed accounts of his actions, but then, of course, none of them came forward because they feared JP. Right? This is what Miller or Micah is alleging in these court papers, right? She went to the police department for the purpose of making a report and requesting an investigation. However, I was, in essence, told by police officials that nobody would believe me because JP was a well-known pastor and we're in the middle of a divorce. Williams divorced Miller in 2016 after learning he started having an affair with Micah while the younger woman was working as a nanny for the couple's two kids, the filing states. At some point after marrying Micah in 2017, Miller allegedly started cheating on his second wife, okay, JP, all right? So he started cheating on her too. That woman's husband later succumbed to water, which we already know about that story, which is pretty wild. Just 2 weeks prior to this incident, the woman's husband had confronted JP. This is interesting too. The woman's husband, the one that also succumbed to water, remember the paraplegic? All right? The paraplegic that succumbed to water in the pool, right? This That man confronted JP and asked him to leave his wife and children alone. This is what Williams claims in papers. It's chilling to know that the spouses of both are now gone from tragic events. Despite divorcing Miller, JP Williams claims she stayed on friendly terms with Micah over the years, and that her ex's second wife eventually reached out to her seeking mental health recommendations. Williams said Micah left her husband Williams said Micah left her an undated 47-second voicemail seeking the name of a counselor when she was trying to end her marriage in the trying to end her marriage that led up to her self-unaliving. It says, "Hi, Allie. It's Micah. This is my new number. Please don't give it to anybody, but I just wanted to see if who your counselor was to help you walk through for forgiveness and stuff, and keep your heart right through all the mess." This is what she said. "I don't want to lose myself in this, and I don't want to pursue anything out of anger or vengeance. I just want to be free and have peace and keep my soul right. So if you just text me the name of a good counselor, I'd greatly appreciate it. Thanks. Bye." Interesting, right? So for those of y'all who are a little bit confused here, let me just break this down, because I think there's a little bit more. JP Miller's lawyer didn't immediately respond Wednesday for request. All right. Miller's behavior has come under intense scrutiny ever since Micah's passing was ruled an S, right? After she was found unalive with a self-inflicted GSW to the head in North Carolina's Lumber River State Park on April 28th. Now, here's the thing. All right. Now, of course, the family is pleading to the police to investigate her demise because they believe that JP did some very, very bad things, right, to her. Now, the thing is just so you guys know, all right, just so you understand this, the ex-wife, his first wife, all right, her name is Allison. Allison claims that she experienced the same type of ish that Micah went through. She went through the same things that Micah went through. There's something interesting about this, too, that I want to bring up here real quick. But she also claims that Micah was starting to tag or bring up and get more information about JP's doings with not only people that work out here in these streets, S workers, but also littles that are members of the church. Allegedly, Allison knows about that information. She knows about this and knew about this. Michael was trying to unearth more information about this. But those people, those kids, did not step forward. She tried to go up there. She tried to go to the police to file so that the police can go and investigate in on this church, but nothing happened because they said, in essence, it looks odd. It's hard and it looks suspicious because you got somebody who is highly revered in the public, this pastor, and you are the wife trying to get a divorce. So it can look like you're just trying to make things up to try to tarnish his name, or because you're just trying to get things out of the divorce, right? And we've heard stories. People sling all kinds of mud whenever it comes to divorces. It gets crazy. Some people are just really diabolical out here, all right? So she was trying to unearth more information out here about his doings with not only just S workers, but also littles. in the church. And now she's gone. But apparently Allison knows about all this stuff. Now, one thing I do want to point out, because it's interesting, because it seems like the same story. The saga continues. Take a look at this. She says, where is it? She says that allegedly Micah sent her a 47-second voicemail asking the name of a counselor. Okay? Asking the name of a counselor when she was trying to end her marriage, of course, that led up to her demise, right? She's asking Allie or Allison for this number. Notice she says, "This is my new number. Please don't give it to anybody, but I just wanted to see who your counselor was to help you walk through for forgiveness and stuff and keep your heart right through all of this mess." Now, what it says to me here is that it sounds like this is another woman that was in a relationship with a man that manipulated, tortured, horrified her life to the point where she thought she was going crazy too. Why would Micah want to reach out to her and go, I need help. Do you have a mental health? Let me talk to your counselor. Who's your counselor? I'd like to talk to them too. It sounds like this is a pattern that has happened multiple times. It happened to Allie. Now it happened to Micah. Mental health issues. 2 women that he's been with, married to. Both of them have mental health issues. So much that they need to seek counseling. Something ain't right here, guys. I see a pattern. Do you? Moving on. In fact, let me get some of these super chats. I'm so sorry. I was so knee deep in this stuff. Let me get some of these super chats really quick. Mimi, thank you so much for the super sticker. I really do appreciate it. Kimberly in Japan, thank you so much for being a member for the past 19 months. Oh my word, the first video just burnt my biscuits. How could he say that? Burnt my biscuits. How could he say that? Why is he showing off that Spider-Man? This man, I know, it's weird. It's weird, Kimberly. It is weird. Carbonize, thank you so much for the love. JP has 99 problems. He caused everyone. Yes, he did, man. You got some Jay-Z out here. Come on now, spitting bores, y'all. Thank you so much, Kimberly. I'm sorry, I have to say it again. Him intentionally putting Spider-Man in the frame while throwing Micah and her family under the bus is beyond disgusting. Yeah, it's crazy. Now you got Marvel going to be calling him up being like, please don't put our images in your videos. We don't support what you're doing. Thank you so much. All right. They're probably New Yorkers. So like, yo, I'm walking here, but we'll see what happens. Right. He had the Back to the Future t-shirt on and everything. Tired as a mother. Thank you so much. The tattoo is super new. That tattoo is super new. It does look kind of new. I have some less than 2 months old, and they don't look like that. They don't look that fresh. If it's real. Yeah. Like I said, I call BS on it. All right. I call BS on all of it. Kimberly in Japan, thank you so much for gifting one person. Welcome to the family, you new person. And all I ask is to pay it forward, do something positive, share it, share that wealth of goodness, because somebody went out of their way to gift you something and give you something filled with positivity. So I say, pay it forward with positivity, open a door for somebody, buy somebody a Coke, whatever, okay? Call your mama, do something positive today, all right? Or you can return the favor by gifting another person in the chat. That's not what I need. What I need is for you to just pay it forward. All right. I appreciate the love. Mora, hello. Thank you so much for being a member for the past 14 months. It's low on the video, not you. He's talking very low. Yes, he is. He is talking very low. Jennifer, thank you so much for the love. I appreciate it. Carbonize, thank you so much again. Today, if you have the opportunity to make someone's day better, do it. You never know who's struggling silently. Your kindness could change their life. Absolutely. And I'll applaud that too. You are absolutely 110% correct. Pretzel, thank you so much. His cornbread ain't done in the middle. I haven't heard that in. What the? Okay. His cornbread. Oh my God. Oh, you guys. Oh. Yes. Oh my God. Yes. Oh my God. Yes. Whoops. I'm hitting all the buttons wrong. You just made me lose it. Oh my God. His cornbread ain't I can't even say it straight. His cornbread ain't done in the middle. He is so gross. Oh my God. Thank you for that. I need to write that one down. That's a good one, Pretzel. That's a good one. Damn. That got me weak. Oh, okay. But yes, I agree. 100%. Him gross big time. Okay. I'm not feeling it. All that is being said and all that we've been hearing so far. All right. But we do have more we got to look into. So I'm going to keep this bad boy moving. Okay. There's a little bit of law, a little bit from Law and Crime from the sidebar with Jesse Weber. I wanted to share some of that with you guys because there's information that we hear in this video that I want to share with you guys. So we're going to take a look at that. All right. And like I said, all this is crazy. All of this information is crazy. You got to remember, first off, let me just remind you guys, this man could absolutely be 110% innocent. I'm sorry. We have to put that on the table. Him guilty for sure. He is coming off guilty as hell. And by him going out here and doing these videos, it's not helping him. It's hindering him like a mug. It's not making him look better. He just keeps on trying to move the goalpost for the sake of whatever he's trying to do. Is it him grifting? I don't know. Is he just doing that so he can just get on the good side of everything that's, of the court of public opinion so he can get his congregation back? Maybe. But it's so odd the way he's doing it. And then, of course, his reasoning behind why he did that sermon or why he even worked after his wife has passed away the day after still doesn't sit well for me. It doesn't sit well in my heart for me. It seems odd. And like I said, it seems like he's moving the goalpost as best as he can. And I feel like he's going to move it again if the court of public opinion changes course, right? So we're going to have to see what happens with that too. But there is something from Sidebar with Jesse Weber that I want to share with you guys. So let's go and take a look at that here now. And I'm going to skip through this stuff.
Part of the question here is what
their husband. Welcome to Side.
Here we go.
Allison being the primary custodial parent. The kids live with Allison and would have visits with John Paul. Now, the first claim listed in this filing is for modification of child custody. That final divorce order stated that any sort of changes requested on either side would have to go to mediation first. But this complaint from May states, quote, that plaintiff asserts that based upon the exigent circumstances that currently exist and the possible imminent danger and harm that could be caused to the minor children, it is not in their best interest to delay these matters from being addressed by the court on an expedited basis, and good cause exists for the court to waive this requirement. It continues, Plaintiff alleges that since the entry of the party's prior final order, defendant has exhibited increasingly unstable behaviors, failed to provide a safe and stable environment for the minor children during his periods of visitation, and has exposed and involved the minor children in incidents of domestic dispute and discord, which have been traumatic to the minor children and not in their best interest. It appears as though defendant's mental health has increasingly deteriorated, and he has exhibited behavioral patterns that are erratic and irrational. At times, he has foregone his designated periods of visitation based upon his own assertions of not being mentally well enough for the children to be in his care.
Now, we've heard this a million times. We've read some of the police reports about in the past. These are things that happened in the past where he would just not drop off the kids when he was supposed to drop off the kids. He's constantly pushing the time, right? Pushing the envelope on their custody agreement, right? So this is interesting that she's now talking about all these things and putting these things out. And yeah, this is not a good look for him, period. Not a good look for him at all. And of course, this whole case of Micah and her passing and all that, not good for him at all as well.
Wow. So for these and other
Indeed, wow.
reasons, Allison is requesting that the court grant her sole custody of the two minor children. Now, John.
Now, I will say this. Can you blame her for wanting sole custody over the children? I'm going to tell you, I don't blame her. With all that's been said, first off, let me just say this. Let's just keep it a buck. We're coming back to this in a second, but let's think about this for a second. You have an ex, okay, who has custody, partial custody, shared custody, with you. Your kids are with somebody who's being looked at publicly in a very, very bad way right now. Do you want your kids around a moving target? Hold on. Think about that for a second. Would you want your kids around somebody who's being looked at as a public pariah right now as we speak? Do you realize how much vitriol, how much anger, how much hate is being pointed at this man right now? Do you want your kids anywhere around this man right now? Even though you're supposed to, abide by your custodial agreements and all that stuff? Are you going to have your kids anywhere near the vicinity of a moving target? Potential moving target? I'm going to say hail to the no. I'm going to say hail to the no. Let's continue, guys. Just saying. I don't blame her for wanting to keep distance from this man right now. Whether he is innocent or not, it doesn't matter. A lot of people are throwing a lot of hate towards him right now in those streets outside of the church, y'all. Ain't no way my kids are going to be anywhere near that. Ain't no way.
Paul had told people that it was Micah's mental health that was suffering, and perhaps it was, but according to Allison Williams here, it seems that he was also struggling. At least that's what she's claiming.
I want to also remind you that allegedly he was taking medication for schizophrenia. Remember that too? Allegedly that was coming from Anna. Anna Francis, her sister, said that on an exclusive interview with Fitz News. She said it live in Technicolor that this man was or is on medication, psychiatric medication himself as well. All right, let's continue.
And then from there, the affidavit takes a turn. It says, quote, plaintiff further alleges that based upon information and belief that since the entry of the party's prior final order, despite his representations otherwise, defendant has failed to seek treatment for his deviant sexual addictions and behaviors, which he admittedly confessed to both plaintiff and former elders of his church.
By the by, this is all from the ex-wife. Just so you know. This is all coming from the ex-wifey. Just so you know. And who would better know him than his ex-wife? Who would better know where all the bodies are buried, all the skeletons in the closet? Ex-wife. She been there, done that several times. They got kids. Let's continue.
Based upon information and belief, defendant has continued to engage in deviant sexual behaviors and has exposed the party's children to an immoral and unsafe environment.
Now, that's what I'd like to know, too. What is this unsafe, this immoral and unsafe environment? Is he introducing these kids to his alternative lifestyle? Is he introducing them to the party favors and whatnot? I'm curious. Are these S workers showing up to his home whilst children are sitting there just playing their PlayStation? I got questions.
Wow.
Indeed.
Deviant sexual addictions and behaviors. Complaint references a separate document that goes into more detail, and we're going to get to that in a moment, but wow. The affidavit then talks about Micah, who Allison says was having an affair with John Paul while he was still married. And I'm going to get into that a little bit more too. But it says, quote, the current wife of defendant Mica Miller was recently found deceased. The tragic facts and circumstances of which have become a major focus of social media, local and national news. Against the objections of the plaintiff, the defendant has discussed this matter with the children. Plaintiff further alleges that prior to the death of Mica Miller, she confided in plaintiff, sharing intimate details regarding the behaviors of the defendant and concerns regarding the safety of the minor children while in the care of the defendant. Plaintiff contends that until the time of Mica Miller's death, she provided a safety net for the children during their periods of visitation with defendant, and based upon her recent tragic death, that is no longer possible. So Allison asked the court to require John Paul to undergo a full and complete psychological and parental fitness evaluation.
Bruh.
And until then, she wants his visitation rights suspended. These are very serious allegations, by the way.
Absolutely.
Now, in her second claim.
Okay. That's a lot. Woo! Sheesh. That's a lot, yo. That's a whole lot. Let's be real. But do you blame her? After everything that's coming out. Also, let's not forget, if she really went through what Micah also went through, she probably was too scared to say anything like these other people that wanted to step forward and speak out, but they were scared of retaliation. Same thing. She probably was scared, feeling trapped, feeling like she can't say anything. And then suddenly Micah took it upon herself to try to unearth how deep, how disgusting and dark this underbelly of this church really is. That's what I'm gathering here. And now that things have come out, it seems like Allison, the ex-wife, his first wife, is now sitting here saying, I can finally speak. I can finally start to attack and get some things, because she already unearthed enough for the courts to look at this and go, yeah, maybe he shouldn't have custodial rights. You know what I mean? Maybe he shouldn't have custody right here. You know? But real quick, thank you, Nate. Thank you so much for gifting. Thank you so much. And of course, Tipsy Gypsy, thank you so much for gifting a membership. Look at y'all. Oh my gosh, you're so amazing. I love it. Thank you so much for the love. It means a lot, y'all. For real. Real talk. It means so much. Thank you so much. Okay. But again, yeah, Twisty Poo just said this. JP does not represent my God. My God. Okay, now here's the thing. It's crazy because I keep wondering if can he get sued by the Vatican or something like that? You know what I mean? Can he get sued by the Vatican? Can JP or whoever, Pope Francis, show up and go, nah, bro, you need to stop preaching the word. Send papers. Stop. Just stop. You're giving us a bad look. You're not even preaching you're not even preaching the good word. Can he do that? I know he's not Catholic, but I'm just saying, like, you know, don't they? What's the higher up in Christianity, in the Christian church? You know what I mean? I'm just curious. You know, who runs this? Who runs this house? Not Ron's house, but you know what I'm saying. All right. Yeah, shoot by the backhand. I know. Like I said, I'm saying crazy stuff, but I'm just saying, like, I'm wondering, can he? Could they slap him with something? You know what I mean? They show up smelling like nothing but incense. You know? Maybe some Gregorian monk chanting going on, like, oh, you know what I mean? It's just like, pop. You know, from henceforth, you are not allowed to speak the word of God or something, and get rid of the skloopity-doo. You know? Because that's hanging on by a thread, too. He got a little LeBron going on. He might just have to, you know what I mean? Just Caesar that mug. You feel me? But, you know, who am I to say anything? I ain't got no hair. But you know what I'm saying? It's hanging on. You see it. It's hanging on. Okay? He trying to do the skloopity-doo, but it's not happening. Okay? But I'm just wondering, you know, can they pull up and be like, no, nevermore shall you speak the word of the Lord? Something of that sort. You know what I mean? Somebody talk to me, you know? I'm just saying. Yeah, the skloop, not sloopity-doo. The skloopity-doo. You know exactly. We already talked about the skloopity-doo. Okay? They all of them that are like, you know, God, the God Squad type of preachers. They all have the skloopity-doo. Hold on. I'm going to show you exactly what I mean real quick. The skloopity-doo. Okay? This is the skloopity-doo. See that? See right there? See that ish right there? See that? Hold on, one more. This is even more pronounced. Look at this. Look at this skloopity-doo. Look at that skloopity-doo. Okay? Just so you guys know, that's the skloopity-doo. And they all have the same, it's all the same haircut. You know? He's a little bit more modest, a little bit more down home, but still, you know what I mean? They all like try to mimic this guy. Okay? I knew the skloopity-doo would come back, that conversation about the skloopity-doo. So I wanted to bring it back and show you guys. That's the skloopity-doo. It's the hair. It's this. Everything's shaved on the sides. It's nice and tight on the side. And then it's just like this wave of hair. You know what I'm saying? I'm not the only one that sees this, guys. I'm not the only one. Let's continue on, though, because there's another filing that Allison made.
Allison requests a guardian ad litem to be appointed. And generally, a guardian ad litem is somebody who's appointed by the court to represent the interests of someone who can't do it on their own. So she's asking for a guardian ad litem to be appointed to investigate what would be best for the kids here. Now, the third cause of action, the third claim, asks for or seeks a modification of alimony and child support, saying that there has been a substantial change of circumstances, namely that John Paul is now making more money. And she's also asking for a restraining order. So essentially, he can't talk bad about her to the kids or discuss any of these legal cases to them. I mean, she mentioned how traumatic this is. And also, interestingly, she apparently wants to stop John Paul from allowing the kids to talk with his father, their grandfather, Reginald Wayne Miller, who we've talked about on previous sidebars. Remember, he told the media that Micah was a very, very sick young woman. So it's interesting that, you know, she doesn't want these kids exposed to him. So that's a lot to digest, but we're not done, because in the accompanying affidavit that Allison Williams submits, there's even more.
It just doesn't stop. You see what I'm saying? This is some crazy stuff, though.
At the beginning of the affidavit, Allison says, quote, I have a voluminous amount of evidence to support the concerns and allegations contained in my verified complaint in motion. However, until such time as proper safety measures are in place, I am strictly limiting the amount of information shared in this affidavit and provided to the court. She states that in 2015, JP was the pastor of Solid Rock Ministries, and I served as his assistant to pastoral duties. We separated after I learned JP was having an adulterous affair with our former nanny, Mica Miller, who joined our church at the age of 15, was
Boom.
married to JP's best friend, who was also on the church staff and serving as our church worship leader at the time of the affair.
Now, as much as the salaciousness of this very Maury Povich, Jerry Springer type of information about she was dating the third cousin of the 15th person twice removed, such and such, all that stuff. Aside from all that stuff, right? The fact that she says she has a voluminous amount of information, but before she says anything, she wants to make sure that she is safe, that she has safety measures in place before she drops the bomb harder than Hiroshima on this case and on this JP. She needs to make sure she's safe. What kind of person are we dealing with here, guys? Like I said, what kind of person is what's going on here? What's really going on here? And the other thing is too, you got to remember, and I understand she didn't say anything before, but I wish she did say things before, because this could have saved Micah. This could have saved any potential person that may have crossed his path that also became a victim as well. Okay. I mean, obviously the S workers, they get paid to do what they do and then they leave. Okay. That's a quid pro quo, right? But as far as the littles and any other person that crossed his path, this could have saved some people, right? But this is fascinating nonetheless. Let's play a little bit more.
JP told me that in addition to his affair with Micah, he'd employed prostitutes and been sexually inappropriate with several underage female members of our church.
I'm sorry. Crazy, right? Crazy.
He blamed his immoral sexual behaviors on the sexual abuse he experienced for years by his father, Wayne Miller. The church requested that JP enroll in an extensive sexual addiction program. However, despite him promising that he would, to my knowledge, that never happened.
Okay, I need to roll that back. Because look, he blamed his immoral behaviors, his sexual behaviors on the SA he experienced for years by his papa, Wayne Miller. Reggie. Remember Reggie? Remember him? He would go out of town and I think it was the Philippines, if I'm correct. Is it the Philippines? I think it was the Philippines. Sorry. But he would go overseas and enact acts out there with young men, littles, mainly male. He has a history. Wayne has a history of being a very, 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 very bad man. This is his son. I mean, you can't even write this ish, y'all. This is insane. You see what I'm saying? You can't even write this. Crazy, man.
The church requested that JP enroll in an extensive. By the way, that adds to the idea of why she is advocating that the kids not be exposed
No
to
doubt.
JP's father. I mean, that is a very serious allegation against him.
Mm-hmm.
But the filing goes on to state, quote, after JP informed me that he had been inappropriate with minor female members of our church and disclosed to me the identity of these girls, I immediately contacted them to encourage them to come forward. Although each shared with me detailed accounts of what JP did to them, they were too scared of JP to make a police report or testify in court. When I learned they were too fearful to report JP, I went to the police department for the purpose of making a report and requesting an investigation. However, I was in essence told by police officials that nobody would believe me because JP was a well-known pastor and we were in the middle of a divorce.
Again, let me roll that back again, just a little bit to see this. He informed her
that he had been inappropriate with littles at the church and disclosed the identity of these girls. So he confessed to his wrongdoings, to his bad, diabolical, disturbing behavior. I immediately contacted them to encourage them to come forward. Come on, y'all. This is crazy. But then when she tried to go to the police, they said, you just look like an angry soon-to-be ex-wife. That you're just going to, you're just slinging mud for the sake of slinging mud because he is a prominent figure as a pastor out here in our town, in our city. And you are trying to divorce him. And you're probably trying to get him for everything that he's worth. That's what people will automatically assume. Ain't that something, guys? Ain't that something?
Following my divorce from JP, he married his then paramour, Mica Miller. Prior to my knowledge of this sexual relationship with Micah during our marriage, both she and her husband at the time, Jeremy, became very close to my family. Micah did not have a close relationship with her mother, and to some degree, I took her under my wing as an older daughter. So that might explain or might help to explain why Micah would have felt comfortable confiding in Allison about any alleged abuse she may have been suffering or any irrational behavior on John Paul's part. Again, these are just allegations, but I have to make that point. The affidavit continues, quote, JP and Micah began having severe marital difficulties, and our children were placed directly in the middle of this discord.
That's not good either, obviously. And of course, if she feels like she has been playing a second mom to these kids because they were married for a while, this is not good.
JP would preach sermons on the Sundays our children were with him and present in the congregation, disparaging Micah and indicating she had mental health issues and eventually putting her in a mental hospital.
See? Look, you place those breadcrumbs out here. You let people know, Micah's been acting crazy. She's been, flying off the handle and doing all this unreasonable things, and I'm not for it. Then they have an argument, or she lashes out at him. Instantly, he goes, throwing you in a mental health facility because now I've already set things in motion in front of my congregation. So now everybody in their mama knows that you are mentally unfit. So if I do put you in a mental health facility, people aren't going to sit there and look at me with shock. They're going to be like, no, you did the right thing because of the stories you've already told us. It's manipulation like a mug, guys. Some ninja Jedi skills right here. It's crazy.
Sermons on the Sundays our children were with him and present in the congregation, disparaging Micah and indicating she had mental health issues and eventually putting her in a mental hospital. The children were subjected to JP calling Micah crazy one day and then her being back in the home at their next visit with their father assuring them she was fine. They never knew what to expect, and the intense unpredictability and marital discord between JP and Micah negatively impacted them all.
He was trying to basically break her. That's what it sounds like. That's what it sounds like. Oh, you want to play with me? Oh, you want to play games? Okay, let's play games. That kind of thing. Try me. Oh, you really want to see how far this goes? Oh, okay. All right. Okay. I'm calling the hospital right now. You're going. Because everybody knows you done. You gone cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. So in there you go. Bye-bye. Try me. Like I said, try me. That's literally the vibe I'm getting when I'm hearing this affidavit right here. Crazy.
On one occasion, while picking up our daughter, I observed holes in their walls, hinges off the doors, and pieces of paper taped to the wall with negative affirmations about Micah.
Whoa! Holy cow. See what I'm saying? How? The pieces of paper taped to the wall with negative affirmations about Mike. This is them going up and picking up their kids. This is Allison going up, picking up her kids from this monster. And this is hinges off the doors, holes in the walls, negative affirmations about Micah written on papers that are taped to the wall. What the hell is this?
JP told me and our children that Micah was delusional and speaking different languages and seeing things that were not there. JP agreed it was not safe for our children to be in his home. So at this point, Allison says the kids stopped staying overnight and instead would just spend a few hours at a time with John Paul, and he would then take them back to Allison's. And then you gotta hear this. Quote, JP began spending time with his new...
By the way, I love Sidebar. Okay, shout out to Jesse Weber. They always come in with receipts. They always come in with stuff, man. They don't play on this show. So shout out to Jesse Weber. Great content. But let me roll that back a little bit, okay? But this whole thing, the breakdown of all this, man, crazy, right? Like I said, I'm wondering, and of course, I'm assuming these kids are still minors and all that. They're kids, they're children. But I am quite curious as to what the kids saw. Now, I know that you can't just go up to the kids and just interview these kids and all that stuff. And please, leave the kids alone. But I am kind of curious as to what they saw, because they're flies on the wall. If Allison went home or went to JP's home and the house was in a disarray with negative affirmations about Micah taped on walls, holes in the walls, doors off of hinges, clearly something happened, and these kids at least were in earshot of the stuff that was going on. So I keep wondering, what did these kids witness? And I feel so sad, and I feel so sorry for those kids, because those kids witnessed some terrible stuff. This is not how you parent, and this is not how you husband or wife out here, okay? This is not how you marriage, guys. And these kids are seeing this at front row seats.
Spend a few hours at a time with John Paul, and he would then take them back to Allison's. And then you gotta hear this. Quote, JP began spending time with his new paramour, Susie, who was the mother of one of the boys that plays on our son's soccer team. JP began using our son to facilitate times he could spend with Susie, which our children were well aware of. Their friends talked about it, and it caused them a tremendous amount of embarrassment.
Interesting, guys. So maybe he really was at a athletic event with this Susie, maybe. Interesting, though, right? You're going to use your own kid. Yeah, I want to spend time with you, son. I want to spend time with you, son. It's going to be great because we get to hang out with your other friend and Susie. But your other friend, let's do some play dates, right? Huh.
When I learned JP was exposing our children to yet another one of his adulterous affairs, I confronted JP and Susie and told them not to let it happen again. JP called me the day Susie's husband died in an alleged drowning accident, extremely upset and asking me to pray, which was incredibly bizarre.
Listen, this is the same woman. This is the same woman where her husband, the paraplegic husband, fell into a pool and lost his life in that pool. Don't you? JP called me the day. See what I'm saying? And where he passed due to this succumbing to water accident, extremely upset, asking me to pray, which was incredibly bizarre. Yeah, why would he call her and say, "Yeah, we gotta pray for Susie's husband," and it just really breaks my heart. I'm on adrenaline right now, so I just want to call you and let you know something real quick. But you don't have to say anything. But after don't say anything until after you hang up the phone and leave your house. Susie's husband's dead. Yeah. Seems like he did it himself. We were waiting on some. He really needed his medication. As you saw, he was just mentally unfit. He was mentally unwell. So I'm just saying, if we can pray for him real quick, honey, that'd be really great. Yeah, I'm on adrenaline. So yeah, just pray for my kids if you don't mind. But, keep calling me whenever you get time. Come on. Come on, guys.
Based upon information and belief, just 2 weeks prior to this incident, Susie's husband had confronted JP and asked him to leave his wife and children alone. It's chilling to know that the spouses of both Susie and JP are dead from tragic events.
Now, we just read a little bit of this from the article that I read to you guys, but at the same time, it gives us a little bit more clarity because they break down all the paperwork here on Sidebar. And hearing all of this here, I mean, this is insane, guys, right? This is absolutely insane to me, all right? You have an ex-wife, like I said, it's like the ex-wife suddenly feels emboldened, right? Feeling brave enough, safe enough now to start filing things. This man, this is what I believe, but I believe this man drove this woman to her demise. Not physically, I'm saying mentally. He made her life a living hell. That's what I believe. Doors off of hinges, negative affirmations taped on walls, and the kids were there. God forbid he made the kids write these affirmations, these negative affirmations about her, and put them on the walls. Think about that for a second. Do you realize how diabolical and how much nasty work that would be if he was bringing the kids in the mix of their arguments and their disagreements? Imagine that. But this is the same dude that's out here doing all these things going, yeah, I want justice for Micah. We will get justice for Micah. We will find out who the person is who did this. We're going to find out. I got 350 pieces of evidence that I'm going to be exposing to you guys on these videos. Really? Really? Okay. Skloopity-doo. But still, something ain't mathing to me. Okay? Something really ain't mathing to me. Now, there is something else I want to share with you guys really quick, because I do want to rip this off. I do want to wrap this up here fairly soon because we do have another show in a couple hours, and it's on another topic, of course. But this is something that we haven't talked in a while about this case, and so I wanted to share this information with you guys. Now, there is a video that has been shared quite a bit as a TikTok, all right, and it's a theory. Now, I'm kind of curious as to if I am kind of curious about this, and we are going to be bringing back some information from Grizzly True Crime. So shout out to all you Grizzlies out there. Gizla is amazing. She does a really great job with her show. Fantastic work. And so we used this video in the past. We're going to be bringing it back again because there's something here. And this is just me just trying to look at this with you guys because I am kind of curious about this to see if this is actually real or not. The theory out here has been running kind of rampant out here, and I don't know how much I believe this to be true, but I want to share this with you guys nonetheless so that we can maybe confirm or debunk this situation. They are talking about the security cam footage. What we're about to look at is a video of the security cam or a TikTok talking about the people that are seen in this security cam footage. And there is this theory about this man allegedly like kind of walking around and kind of nonchalantly waiting for Micah to leave the pawn shop the moment when she is buying the weapon, right? So I wanted to share with you guys this TikTok. I don't know if I believe it, but I want to share with you guys anyway, and hopefully we can see the footage for ourselves in Technicolor, in 4K, and hopefully confirm or debunk this stuff. So let's take a look at this video, all right?
Whoa, and I got more proof that Mr. Pawn Shop was up to no good.
Now, he's talking about this guy in the green that was wearing, I think he was wearing like Coach or Louis Vuitton slides as well.
Don't worry. We're going to look at that video in just a little bit, but this is very strange. All right.
He was definitely following Mica Miller, and I don't like it. This is about to blow y'all mind. Now, if y'all watch my other video, Mr. Pawn Shop right here was really creepy and following Micah to the point even Micah suspected it. She looked at him, rolled her eyes. But now in this clip, y'all are about to see that he walks in up here and then walks directly out to the left, but then walks back in. Then that's when he comes in down this aisle and has a little interaction with Micah. That's what we're talking about right here. Then after he listens to Micah's conversation,
right here,
he walks. It's like he knows, okay, now she's about to leave. So he walks towards the exit and just waits around for a little second, then walks out seconds before Micah walks out.
Now, I'm curious. I don't know. I don't think this is real. Like, I think he's reaching. And I think Dominique just said that too. Dominique Devereaux. Yeah. You know what I mean? I think he's reaching. I don't think that there was anybody in there lurking. That's just my personal opinion. We looked at the footage. This is the reason why I'm bringing this up, because I want to share this with you guys one more again. Look at the footage to see if this is at all accurate. Okay. But this is a stretch in my personal opinion. But let's take a look no matter what, right? We still got to look at that option and see if we can confirm or debunk it, right?
For purchasing her thing. That's her there. Now I need y'all to watch this video clip. This guy needs to be questioned. Guys, look at the time step, 12:25. You see Micah paying for it. And if you look over here, he walks in right here. But for some reason, he goes straight over there. And he comes back in that door and walks back down this aisle.
Okay, and I'm going to skip ahead of this real quick because we're going to see the footage anyway. He walks right by her, as you can see here, but we're going to look at the footage here again. And then he says, this guy stands around looking at him, looking at this glass counter, looking at the items in the glass counter, right? And then
12:33. Micah's coming seconds behind him. Look at him. What are you looking at? You ain't bought nothing. Your hands ain't even ready to make a purchase. He's sitting there. It's like he's listening to Micah, timing like, okay, yeah, she's done. Because he hears her, you wrap it up and you say, all right, thank you. So he mows out and goes back out that way, but he looks to the right. He's got an accomplice with him or something.
Okay.
Right after that, here comes Micah.
And she walks out.
Micah even looked over to the left, but she leaves and she goes to the left.
Okay. Of course she goes to the left. Her car is off to the left. But like I said, I wanted to share this with you guys because, again, the theories and the speculation is running rampant and is running wild. Let's be real. All right. And, this is no disrespect to any person that has their own theories about what happened to Micah, but we want to look at the information. This is something that's been shared. People are, sending it to me in DMs and all that stuff going, oh, what about this footage and all that stuff? So I looked at it and I'm like, I don't know about all that. I don't know about all that. But hey, we're here to look at it. We're going to look at it together as a family so we can either confirm or debunk it. That guy in the Louis Vuitton slides, it looks like Coach or Louis Vuitton slides. Either way, green shirt, jeans. He looks like he's minding his own damn business, in my personal opinion. He doesn't look like he's, pressed for anything. Yes, he looks at her, but, she's a pretty woman. He's a man. He looked. I don't think there's anything wrong with that, right? I don't think that means suspicious activity. But let's take a look at this. All right. Hold on real quick.
This video.
And of course, shout out to Grizzly True Crime because, we're reusing the footage again. So by all means, go and check it out for yourselves when you get a chance. All right. But again, we're going to scroll right through this ish. Different angles. All right. Now, here's the thing. He comes around this time. Hold on. There he is. Okay. Now, I'm going to mute it because there really isn't any sound
to this footage. And I'm going to speed it up a little bit so we can get kind of straight to the point, because we've been seeing this footage. All right. We've been seeing this footage. Let me speed it up even more till we get to him. There he is again. And to me, it looks like he's minding his own doggone business. He's looking at some pew-pews, because that's the exact same area that she was at, looking at pew-pews. She's making a payment. Let me skip ahead a little bit. Hold on. Let me slow this moment down. Back to its regular speed. To me, it looks like this is a guy who just looked at her and just kept it moving, right? All right, hold on. I'm going to the cars real quick. Because remember, this is when she gets out and she gets into her car, right? Right about this time. See? Gets out. See that car up in the far top left-hand corner? This is her pulling out. Now, here's the thing. Remember, that guy leaves a little bit before her. So I'm trying to see if he's in the footage getting into his car. Because that would be extremely helpful, right? Sorry, I'm just going backwards here, guys. I think this is... See, this is him right here. That's him right here. See this? Okay, now he goes in. That's at what, 2606? Hold on, I'm just writing this down. Okay, he goes in. He's in there for a little while. And what's interesting is he walks out this way. He walks out, like when he walks out, he doesn't go towards his car. He goes left. But he's not driving a truck. He's driving a Mercedes, a 4-door Mercedes. Again, 2606. Let me show you guys again. There he is, getting out. I'll show you even proof. Him pulling up. Let it roll. Because remember, there's a whole theory about a truck and a white car. There's also the other theory about a white car following Micah out to the gas station after she bought this weapon. That is the mother lover right there. Coming out of his 4-door silver, looks like a Mercedes. Okay? All right. Let's continue on. She gets out. Look, he doesn't even go back to his car yet. Look at that. He doesn't even go to his car, y'all. He doesn't even go back to his car. Remember, he walks out. Hold on. This is 3206. This is when Micah leaves. He does not need to be questioned at all, y'all. That's just what I think. Take a look at this. Or 3226, I'm sorry. Take a look at this. Boom. Has already left. He left. He took a left, right? He took a left out of the building. Maybe there's another place attached to the building. Maybe it's a Marshall's or a TJ Maxx or a Kohl's or a Ross or something like that. You feel me? She got out in the car. Hold on. If you notice, he has already left before her. Unless he was on the side grabbing a smoke. Maybe he was lighting a cigarette. You see what I'm saying? He might have been. There might have been I don't know. There might be a like some sort of restaurant around the other on the other side. But you don't see him. It's not like he's running into his car and he's chilling in his car. He did not go into his car at all. She sits in the car for a minute, puts it in reverse, and drives away. But like I said, make it make sense, y'all. Why is there a theory about the dude who just happens to be shopping? Look, guy in truck gets in his car. Still nothing. Now let's go to the other part. There it is. There he is in the bottom. I'm going to speed it up again. Like I said, it just the fact that there is that theory doesn't really show that he was out there running after her, driving after her as soon as she drove off or anything of that sort. He walks off to the left, this left exit or this, this left doorway area. He goes over here. She goes out of here and goes left. But then I don't know what he's doing. He could be in there looking at stuff in that other area. There could be another area right there that sells personalized things. I don't know, something. But in my personal opinion, he ain't doing anything wrong. He's checking things out. He's chilling in the cut. He's window shopping. Everyone does that. Everyone does that. Look, see? And then he walks off. What's in that other room? I don't know. There could be another room. There could be things that are more customized stuff. I don't know. It could be a specific room for instruments, for crying out loud. I don't know. You know what I mean? It could be another room specifically for something else. It says a jewelry outlet right here up at the top. That's what it looks like what's being said. So he could be looking at jewelry in this area. And yeah, BB, it's a big ass store. It's a big old store, guys. So he could have been in there looking at jewelry. Just saying. As he's sauntering in there. Yeah, I think this is like a jewelry spot. And then she walks out the door. So the theory of him following her, or he needs to be questioned and all that, I mean, no, not really.
It looks like he goes into the jewelry section of this pawn shop to go and take a look at a few things. I'm sure by the time he gets into his car, she is long gone. Now, here it is though. If she is being followed, if her stuff was tracked, yeah, there could have been somebody following her for show. For show. But you're telling me that this is the guy following her? No, I don't think so. Now, she does look back and look at him and stuff, right? There's a good possibility that she is so aware that she's been lurked and followed before that there may be that paranoia of, am I being followed, right? But at the same time, I don't think that this is the guy that's out here following this woman. He was wearing slides, for crying out loud. Really? Slides. Expensive slides. Okay? Those weren't like some Target slides. Okay? I mean, they could have been knockoffs, but you never know. Could have been bootleg. But still, to me, he had Louis slides on. Yeah, he had some Louis slides on. And it seems quite fitting that he would go into the jewelry outlet, pulling up in a Mercedes as well. Okay? It's a guy who likes nice things. Nothing wrong with that. But that doesn't mean that he's out here chilling, lurking, following her for JP. So like I said, I think that's debunked. I think it's a bit of a stretch. I think it's a reach. Okay? But yeah. Whew, we will see. Hey, you know what? Here it is. Maui just said, he think he's going to be in a suit. No, I don't think he's going to be in a suit. But if he has to chase after somebody, you're not going to be wearing slides. I mean, I'm sorry. That's just an obvious. If you are following somebody around, you are not wearing slides. You're wearing shoes, durable shoes that you can run in, move in, crouch behind things, whatever you need to do, because you never know what's going to happen. But I will agree. People who are in that facility should be questioned. I agree. Doesn't hurt to question them and ask them some questions. But I do not believe that this is the guy. Come on, you're a private investigator and you're private investigating wearing slides. I'm sorry, no. Nah. Okay. Somebody said get your Crocs in sport mode. I'm done. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? You got to hide. You got to crouch around. You know what I mean? Sometimes some of these people are some of these private investigators are going through some of the murkiest, nastiest things. You're going to wear Louis slides in mucky muck? Hell to the no. You ain't doing that. But we'll see what happens, right? I just don't believe that. I think it's a stretch, with all due respect, okay? Ingrid just said, it wasn't that kind of pursuit. It was passive and discreet, beachwear style. Well, I mean, here it is. Hey, sure, fine. But at the same time, if I was to do something like that, I'm not wearing slides, because you just never know. That person, especially if she buying a weapon like that, she could start just pew-pewing. You need to move, etc. I'm sorry, but I just don't see a private investigator going so plain clothes to the point where they're wearing slides. That's on their day off. Okay, but when the day on, they're wearing some shoes, laced, at least Velcro, something. You know what I mean? Because you never know if you need to keep your head on a swivel. I'm just keeping it real. But hey, everyone's entitled to their opinions and all that. And hey, if they want to investigate him, by all means, question him. By all means, question him, because it doesn't hurt to ask him, because he may know something is up.
right? He may have heard something. He may have seen something, so on and so forth. But do I think he's the guy who lured her out into the swampy areas of that national park? Hail to the no. I do not. I don't. And it's not just because of the slides. The slides are a good giveaway, though. Okay. But real quick, Carbonize, thank you so much. There's a word for people like this. Predator. Yes, exactly. Where's an Arnold Schwarzenegger when you need him? You know what I mean? Get it? Predator. Moving on. S-Dubs, thank you so much. How old are the kids? If over 12, they can choose. I do not know the age of the kids. I don't, but that's a damn good question. Something to think about for show. Pretzels, thank you so much. The cornbread thing still got me. Before we end the show today, just remember, you need lots of dippity-doo for the skloopity-doo. Yes, that's very true. Thanks, Pascal, for a great show today. Of course. And I appreciate that. Thank you so much for the laughs and for the joke, because that was hilarious. And for the support. Okay. But yeah, the skloopity-doo. All right. If you don't know what we're talking about, Nicole B, you might have to hit the rewind and see what I'm talking about. But anyway, I appreciate you guys for being here. It really means a lot. But that's the show. Thank you guys. Like I said, I wanted to give you guys some updates on all that stuff. There was a lot to break down, a lot to conversate. Here's something. I got some information about Madeline Soto. So be on the lookout. Be on the lookout for that, because we got some conversations to have today. We got a lot of conversations, many miles to go before we sleep. So be on the lookout, because we are about to do a deep dive into some crazy information, heartbreaking information revolving around Madeline Soto. Okay, guys? So please do me a favor. All right? Do me a favor. Hit that like button down below, please and thank you. That would really mean the world to me. Hit that like button down below. Crush it. And of course, please do not forget to crush that follow button if you're watching on any of my social medias. Hit up my TikTok, please. Follow me on TikTok, The Pascal Show. One word, okay? But of course, if you haven't done that yet, on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, X/Twitter, please do that. And of course, crush that subscribe button on my YouTube channel. Please and thank you. We got a lot of conversation to have here very, very soon. So we got a lot coming up very, very soon. So be on the lookout for that. Don't forget, if you want to support the channel, hit that join button down below, become a member, or check out my Patreon. It's in the ticker right there. Patreon.com/The Pascal Show. Check it out when you get some time. That'd be greatly appreciated. Okay. Anyway, guys, it is time to get going. I'll see you guys in a couple hours. Much love to you guys. Be good to yourselves. Be good to one another. Talk to you guys soon. This is The Pascal Show. Bye.